Hello, good evening, everyone. Right, thanks for joining us live yet again. Yeah, I hope you had a great weekend. Yeah, so tonight we have a very special guest. Yeah, okay, known as the trade engineer. Right, okay, so he's actually a friend of mine, and we were actually talking about this 50% crypto crash right happening. I would say at the end of at the end of December last year, if you still remember. So actually, he showed me a very, using a very simple technical analysis, right? He could actually avoid the crash and exit with profit, before it actually happens. Okay, so of course, since then, the crypto market, Bitcoin, and all that, it has actually also recovered about 20 to 30%, right? So, but the question is, right, is this the right time to enter again? Or we should wait for more confirmation or things like that, right? Okay, so the trade engineer will give his unique views on that as well. So be sure to stay with us, till the end to find out. Yeah. Okay. So I saw some of you already live with us. Can you give us some response so we know that you are here with us? Maybe just type TTE. Okay. TTE stand for the trade engineer. Also as welcome. Welcome our special guest tonight as well. Okay. Or just simply tap on the like button. Yeah. Okay. So let me just see very, very quickly. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. So without further delay, right? Okay, I would like to bring in the trade engineer. Okay, so but he's actually a little shy now. Okay, so you can see that it's actually an avatar. Okay, that is speaking to you tonight. Okay, however, that I would say does not take anything away from him, not even a little bit. Okay, because tonight he will be sharing all the golden nuggets that he has, I would say, gathered over the years, through his investing journey and experience as well. Okay, yeah. So with that, right, I shall pass the time over to the trade engineer. Okay, so the floor is yours. The floor is yours. Right.
All right. Thanks, Leslie. Thanks, Leslie, for the warm welcome to your channel, and thanks for inviting me to share, on this, on my analysis, right, to your Facebook group. So, thank you. Yep. So, good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope everyone is enjoying their Sunday so far. Yep. So today I'll be sharing a little bit more, on Bitcoin, right? So as what Leslie has mentioned, um, we did have a conversation on this latest crash, and I thought it's a good opportunity, right, to actually share with all of you on this crash, right, this 50% crash, and how it can actually be predicted using technical analysis even before any news was out, right? It's a very simple technique that all of you can apply, and it can be a good way to analyze future breakdowns in the Bitcoin. Right, so before I proceed further, right, let me first give a brief introduction to all of you because it's my first time here and not many of you will know me. So basically, I am the trade engineer, or you can call me TTE for short. Right, so this is my avatar that you probably saw in the banner, right, when for this Facebook Live. So a little bit more about me, right? I have about 6 to 7 years of trading experience, and I've traded numerous instruments, right, including stocks, futures, forex, and cryptocurrency. So for today, I'll be focusing simply on cryptocurrency, specifically just on Bitcoin, right? So I've already helped numerous aspiring traders unlock their best trade, right? So I actually help those traders unleash the hidden potential within them, right? So that they can make better trades in the market. And all these, right, can actually be utilized using just some simple yet effective trading techniques. So before I proceed further, just to give some disclaimers over here, right? So you said some rules. So first of all, while accuracy of information is ensured as far as possible, there will not be any responsibility taken for any loss or inconvenience created by omission or error. Ideas, suggestions, examples, and other information presented here are just for reference and educational purposes only. And presentation contents here are not intended in any way to give trading advice or recommendations to buy or sell any trading instrument. In this case, it's Bitcoin. And me, myself, the trade engineer, will not have any liability for any loss or expense whatsoever relating to the trading decisions undertaken by the audience. Last but not least, all copyright rights reserved. So now that we got that out of the way, let's proceed to talk about the main discussion topic for today. So over here, right, we have the price chart for Bitcoin, right? So I'm sure all of you who have been trading Bitcoin or investing in Bitcoin, this chart you have seen multiple times, right? So this is actually the Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So just to jog everyone's memory, right, of the recent 50% drop. So it started off on the 10th of November, right, where it clocked the all-time high of around 68,990 US dollars, right? And since then, it has fallen slightly around over 2 months later, on 24th Jan 2022, just earlier this year, it fell to a low of about 32,985 US dollars. Right, so that you work out the math is actually about close to, I think, slightly more than 50% drop, right? So the question here, right, is why? Why did this happen? What caused this 50% drop? So we look back at the news, right? This is a piece of article taken from Investopedia, right, recently on the 26th of January this year. So it tried to attribute, some of the reasons why Bitcoin dropped, right? So actually, one of the main reasons is basically because of the US regulation of digital assets, and that includes Bitcoin. So that was the main reason. And there are other reasons cited, so such as gradual belt tightening by the US Fed, right? And also because the price of Bitcoin, is seen to be increasingly correlated to the price of other assets, right? So because the whole stock market was also down, the price of Bitcoin also came down. So they were trying to attribute some reasons to why the Bitcoin price dropped. But the one thing I would like to point out to all of you, right, is that this article came out on the 26th of January. And if you look back on the chart, right, this actually happened after the entire move was made. So basically after we saw the 50% drop, right? So the news came only after the drop in Bitcoin. So it actually came a bit too late, right? How many of you actually want to actually predict this drop even before it happened, even before any news has come out? So that is what I'm going to share tonight. And I'll bring up the chart again. And let me tell you that I actually managed to make the prediction on this very day, like 15th of November. It is actually a few days after the all-time high, right? It's not exactly the all-time high. It's a few days after, but it will have clocked, you have clocked the entire move downwards. If you have known that, on this day, you will have actually start the move, of 50% downwards. But the question here is, right, how did I actually predict that on this very day, the 15th of November, the price will actually make a U-turn down, right? Because it actually just made an all-time high, right? It is not very possible in that point of time to say that, oh, at this point, it would be going down by 50%. Right. So this is a question that I'm sure all of you are wondering, right? How did I know that? So without further ado, let me delve into the details of how I make that prediction. So over here, right, I have the zoom in price chart for that, section of time. And, I added in a few indicators here, right? I have the RSI here as well as an uptrend, ascending uptrend line. But let's ignore all this for now. Let's just focus on the price chart of Bitcoin, right? So if you look, price has formed a higher high, right? So if you look back at trading 101, you have told you, right, that if price form a higher high, it is indicative of an ascending trend, right? So if you take that at face value, you have concluded that this is a bullish indicator, right? However, let's look at the RSI now. If you look at the RSI, for the same time period, right, we're actually seeing a lower high, right? So when price make a higher high, the RSI is actually forming a lower high. So that is actually what we call a bearish divergence, right? So that is actually the first indication that price might be making a U-turn, right? That's how I got my first indication. And the second indication, right, is when we look at this uptrend trend line. So it was tested 2 times, right? And another third time over here before it broke and fell, right? So the confirmation I got was when this uptrend trend line was broken on this very day, the price of Bitcoin appears to have be going down, and so it did, right? That's what we see down here. It went from 60 plus thousand to lows of 30 plus thousand, right? So this is how I actually make the prediction. And if we look back, right, this very day where it broke the uptrend trend line, this occurred on the 15th of November. And that was what I pointed out to all of you just now, how I make that prediction on this very day, right, the 15th of November. Right. So that is, how I actually predicted this recent crash in between November to January, right? But do you recall there was another crash, right? Some time ago, sometime earlier, back in April 2021, right? And it also could be predicted using technical analysis even before any news was out. Yeah, but before I proceed further, if you are finding value in this video so far, please give this video a like and a share so more people around you can benefit from my sharing. Also, do leave a comment down below on what you think of my sharing so far. And without further ado, let me proceed on the other 50% crash that occurred some time ago in April 2021. So over here, I have the price chart, a more zoomed out version of the Bitcoin price chart. And over here, we saw that recent 50% drop, right, between November to January. So the other price drop, right, of Bitcoin occurred sometime earlier. That's what I mentioned, starting from April 2021, specifically 14th of April, exactly at this point over here, right, where it was clocking all-time highs at that time. So specifically, it was a level about $64,778, right? And slightly around 2 months later as well, on 22nd June 2021, it went down to a low of $28,902 for Bitcoin, right? So you work out the math again, it is slightly more than 50% drop, right? So the question here again is why, right? As what we answered previously on the first 50% drop, we need to answer this question as well. Why this 50% drop, at that time? So going back, there are numerous articles, but I just pick out one, right, from US Today at that point of time. So these are some of the reasons why Bitcoin actually crashed at that time, right? So actually, what they mentioned here, there are several reasons. I think one of the reasons was basically this guy called Elon Musk, right? I'm sure you heard of him. Yep. So basically, he has bought cryptocurrency as well. And, he actually mentioned, I think in his Twitter, that Tesla will actually stop, using Bitcoin, right? Because of concerns that this cryptocurrency has a big impact, some adverse impact, on fossil fuels, because everyone's going green, right? So Bitcoin doesn't seem very green. So that was one of the reasons why, and that actually sent the market down for Bitcoin, right? So there are other reasons, right? They're cited. Another reason at that time was this Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack, right? So it's the concern here is that Bitcoin used by hackers, right, in this ransomware attack. And there was another reason cited basically because of China, right? China was cracking down on cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin being the leader, right, of cryptocurrency, it was also affected, right? So this was something that that led to that big fall in 2021. But once again, right, over here, let me point out to you the date of the article, right? The article date was published on the 22nd of June 2021. And if you look back, right, that was basically right on the day where it clocked the lowest point, right? So it actually happened way too late, right? If you have read the news and you decide, oh, I want to sell Bitcoin, guess what? You actually sold at the low, right? It actually went back up after that. So, playing by the news is probably too late of a game. Yep, and you actually want to get out even before it dropped by this 50%, right? So, the question here is like, how do I make that prediction again, right? And let me show you that I actually have made that prediction sometime on 18 April. So actually it was a few days after that it made that all-time high, right? So likewise, right, it's not at the all-time high. I didn't make the prediction right at the very peak. It was some distance away from the peak. But if you had got in and shorted it or actually got out of Bitcoin at this point, you have saved yourself some agony, or you can actually reap some gains along the way, right? So it actually clocked most of the move from here on, right? So yep, as what I mentioned, right? This is an indication of a possible impending price drop, right? But how? How do I know that? Right? That's a big question, right? And let's without further ado, let's delve into the details for this particular instance. Right. So over here, right, I have the zoom in version of price chart yet again, right? And you see something very familiar here, right? It's the same thing, right? There is the RSI and there is the uptrend trend line. Right. So I guess you know the drill, right? It is actually pretty similar to the last instance. But in this case, right, we are seeing, price forming a higher high for not just 2 times, but a total of 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 times, right? So this time out, this was actually, it made a swing high more times than the recent case. So, if you actually look back at trading 101, just basic techniques, price forming higher high actually imply that it is part of an uptrend, right? Price is actually making, uptrend, right? And it also is forming, higher lows as well, right? So it is making, that uptrend, right? But, of course, that is just on face value. We need to look at other indicators as well. So here we have the RSI, right? And as you can see, right, there's something strange going on. So as the price makes higher highs, the RSI is making lower highs, right? Not 1, not 2, but 4 times in total. 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So each time making a higher high is making a lower high for RSI. And that is actually a very bearish divergence, right? So it's actually waiting. It's just, just trying to suck you in, to buy it. But eventually, it is going to come down. So yeah, so the confirmation, right, as always, as what we saw in the previous example, right, is basically when this uptrend trend line is broken, right? This uptrend trend line was actually tested 3 times, right, before it broke on this very day. And it was a very red bar, right? It actually broke quite convincingly. So after it broke this trend line very convincingly, right, it actually fell all the way down, right? So this was what happened on that day, and this was how I predicted that Bitcoin would be falling. So we look back, right, at this very point, when the uptrend trend line was broken. This occurred on the 18th of April, slightly below $60,000, right? So this is the other instance of how I make this prediction that Bitcoin would be making this big fall, right? At that time, I didn't know it was going to be a big fall, but I did know that there is a possibility that that Bitcoin would be falling, very soon, right? So you can see that actually, in both instances, we employ the same techniques, right? It is just very simple techniques, just involve one ascending trend line and another RSI, right? And with that, you are able to actually predict the movement of Bitcoin. Right. So do you see, right, the importance of using technical analysis, right, in predicting Bitcoin's price movement before any news? So without further ado, right, let's move ahead. Let's see the future and apply this to the future price movement for Bitcoin. So over here, I have the Bitcoin, on the more recent time frame, right? So this is on the daily time frame, and this is the recent price chart for Bitcoin. So here there are more lines as compared to what I've shown previously, but not worry. Let me break down each of them for you one by one, and you'll see that it's actually very simple. So first of all, right, let me bring attention to this downward trending downtrend line, right? So you can see that this downtrend line, right, is actually tested numerous times, 1, 2, and 3 and 4 times, right, before it make actually a break out of this downtrend line on this very day, a few days ago, right? So this was actually a very bullish candle, right? It actually broke it very convincingly. Yep, and ever since then, right, it actually has been staying above this trend line. Yep, so that is something something quite bullish. It might imply that Bitcoin might be headed for more upside, right? But that is just one of the indicators. We have to look at other indicators as well. So let me bring attention to a second line. So let's look at this horizontal line, right? This horizontal line, the topmost horizontal line. So this horizontal line actually represents the current resistance level, right? So it's between a range about 45,800 to about 46,200, right? And it used to be the support level, right? So it was previously tested numerous times in the past. So now it is forming that resistance level. So this is actually a very key level to watch out for, right? So once it breaks this resistance, right, there could be further upside. And last but not least, let's bring attention to the last two lines, right? This ascending upward trending trend line, as well as this bottom horizontal line, right? So this actually represents the support, right? So this is the horizontal support, and this is the upward trending uptrend line. So for the price to actually make a move upwards, these two lines has to be supported, right? So if if it breaks below either of these lines, that could be an indication of further downside. But of course, we have to wait and see to see whether that is a fake breakdown. Yeah, but preliminarily speaking, if these two lines, number 3 and number 4, the upward trending uptrend line as well as the support remains supported, there is potential for further upside, right? And if we look at this chart in totality, right, it looks like inverse head and shoulders pattern, right? But this is the head, right? You look at on the other side, right? This is the head and these are the shoulders, right? So that could be an indication that this Bitcoin might be making a move up. But of course, the biggest indication for that is that if it breaks above the resistance line very convincingly. So that is my outlook, for the future of Bitcoin. We shall see how it goes. But of course, as always, do your own due diligence, right? Because this is just technicals only paint part of the picture. It is not 100%, right? There could be sudden news in the market, sudden changes in the macro market that might impact the prices of Bitcoin. So do watch out the news. Do make sure that you stay alert and do your own due diligence. Right. So before I end off, right, just some reminders, right? So if you enjoy my sharing so far, right, please do follow me on my Facebook page, right? So on my Facebook page, I do share other things, other instruments like stocks, futures, right? So you can check out my Facebook page at this handle, thetradeengineer.tte, right? And just another reminder, right? If you like my sharing today, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video, right? So that more people around you can benefit from my sharing. Yep. And with that, I've concluded my sharing for today. Yep. And I'll take some questions from the floor if there's any.
All right. Okay. Thanks, the trade engineer. Yeah. So I hope everyone enjoyed the sharing. Yeah, because I definitely enjoy it. Yes. So fantastic sharing from the trade engineer again. Yeah. So if you have if you have benefited and like what the trade engineer has shared. Okay, so maybe this time you can tap on the love button so that we know that you like it, and and if there's enough loves coming out, so I have a reason to invite the trade engineer back again. Yeah, if not, maybe he thinks that yeah, we don't really like his sharing and he don't want to come on anymore. So if you really like it, I hope that just tap on the love button this time. Yeah, so you can tap on love button, even you have already tapped on like button previously. Yeah, that's Facebook Live for you, right? Okay, so of course, if you do also find this valuable and you think that maybe some of your friends, or your other groups that may benefit from this sharing, do share it out as well. Yeah. Okay. So if there's any questions, you can type in the comment so that we can see it, and the trade engineer can help to answer some of them. Right. Okay, so and do follow the trade engineer Facebook page as well, because what he's sharing today is more on the crypto, because we are a crypto group, right? Yeah. So, but he himself actually trade many other instruments. So, if you are also interested to know, about stocks, forex, you trade forex also, right?
Oh yes, yes I do.
Yeah, forex and even futures and other instruments similar to that. Right. So do follow him if you want to watch more of his Facebook Live, which he also conduct from time to time in on his own page as well. Right. Okay. So let me see. Yeah. Okay. Oh, great, great. There's quite a number of love. So I think they love your sharing. I was worried that no one gives a love. Then I cannot invite you back. Yeah. Yeah.
Looks
So
like to come back.
your looks
Thanks
like to
everyone.
come back. Yes, yes. So yes, if you all like the sharing, potentially I may invite the trade engineer back, again for our this crypto watch life, right? Okay, so as of now, I don't see any questions. Yeah, because not because they don't have questions for you, but I believe it's because you already explained it so thoroughly, right? So there's no need for questions. Right, I hope that's the case. Yeah. So I will also paste in the your link on the comment later, your Facebook page, so they can click on it easily later as well. Right. So if not, if no question, let me just check one last time. Yeah. Let me just check one last time to ensure that I did not miss out any questions. Yeah. No, I don't think so. But if you do have questions later on, right, or some of you may be tuning in after the live has ended, right? Uh, do type in the comment box. Okay, so the trade engineer will take a look at them and reply, answer your question by replying. Right. Okay. So
Yes,
if
please
not,
do.
yeah, if not, we probably end the session so that everyone can have a good night rest. Yeah. So again, I will just shamelessly, if you have not tapped on the like or love button, just tap on either, to give the trade engineer who is first time coming on to our group to give the sharing. Right. Okay. So yep. Any last words for our audiences? You know, the trade engineer.
Oh yes, thanks everyone for tuning in. I know it's pretty late, on Sunday, and everyone is turn up, for work tomorrow. But thanks for tuning in, yeah, to hear my sharing for today. I hope all you have gained something, from my sharing, and I hope to see you guys again very very soon.
Yeah. Okay. So finally, of course, happy Chinese New Year as well, and stay safe, trade safe, and of course, to the moon. Right. See you. Good night. Bye bye.
Good night, everyone. Bye.